What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing some really easy Dollar Tree home decor DIYs. So today we're going to make these DIYs super easy and super fast. Not going to make this introduction too long, so let's jump right into the first DIY. So for the first DIY, I wanted to recreate this Magnolia vase, and I was searching Dollar Tree for this candle holder and then also this candle holder, but for the life of me I could not find any at any of my Dollar Trees. So it's going to be a little different, but that's the inspiration for it. So this is the one I made, and I'm just using a leftover candle, what is it? A candle jar and then a Dollar Tree vase, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue those together. Okay, so I'm going to take out my plaster of Paris, and I've done this before. I'm actually going to share a different method in another DIY here in this video. So just mix it, follow the instructions, or just, add water or add the plaster of Paris to your liking. I'm going to make sure it's nice and thick, and it does dry super fast, so I'm going to try to be quick with it, and I'm just going to go ahead and glop on that first layer, and after that I'm honestly going to go into it with my hand because, like I said, it dries super fast, so you definitely want to be quick with it. I actually like doing this because it gave it a really cool texture as it dried. Alright, so after it dried up, I went ahead and used a little bit of this spray paint in stone gray. Alright, so here is another one that I wanted to recreate. Mine didn't come out exactly like that. I feel like the little pastel colors that I used didn't really go with the original, but again, it's an inspiration. So I took one of these Dollar Tree plates and I just added some thick paint, and you guys already know if you watch my videos I love using the thick Home Depot paint, and I did about 3 coats of that paint, so I just let it dry in between, and then when that was dried up I just took some white spray paint and painted the top, that way you don't see like the bottom of the plate, and then just taking my alcohol markers I went ahead and drew it in there, and I added a little more paint on top of that just to kind of bring the colors down a notch. And again, I don't really like the pastel colors that I used on the right, or on the right 2 flowers, but it is what it is. I think it still came out pretty cool. And you guys may have seen this one before. This is another Magnolia dupe, and just wanted to make a couple of these terracotta vases for a fraction of the price. And I did use plaster of Paris and then these different colors to create that terracotta look. You guys can pause it. That very last color didn't focus, but it was like an orange. And I just took a little terracotta pot to the side just so I could kind of match the colors for reference, but you guys feel free to match whatever colors you have on hand. And then after each coat I did go ahead and dry it, that way it doesn't come off like when you're brushing it on there. And you got to be quick with it also. It does kind of crack a little bit, but I did add like a lacquer on top of it so it doesn't come apart. So this is another old DIY that I created, but I wanted to share with you guys again. So these are the 2 that I took inspiration from Magnolia. Mine don't look identical, but again, it's an inspiration, not a duplication or duplicate, however you say it. So I had actually bought this table leg from Habitat for Humanity for like a couple of bucks, and then I also have those wooden rounds from Dollar Tree. So I went ahead and glued those on there, and you guys saw I did sand down the wooden leg a little bit, and then I just added some paint, and you guys, that's pretty much it. Just add the paint, sand it down, and added some Dollar Tree candles. you do enjoy videos like this, make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below. And then also make sure you become part of the DIY family. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and hit the notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. Alright, so for this one, I wish I would have gotten the color as dark as the original, but I mean, literally made it for a couple of bucks and I think it looks pretty cool. Maybe just change up the color a little bit, but that's just what I did. So I did take some wooden blocks from Dollar Tree, and then I'm also using my newer glue gun that's cordless from Bauer. I bought it at Harbor Freight. And so right here I am just kind of trying to figure out how I'm going to make the frame, what thickness I want it, and all that. Usually when I glue my wooden blocks together, I try to use my square. It is from Dollar Tree, just to kind of have everything, you know, straighter, and it doesn't always come out super straight just because the wooden blocks aren't always super straight, but it's still a big deal. And on this I did use 22 pieces for the top and the bottom, and then 20 pieces for each side. I'm sorry I couldn't get you guys a whole view of the frame. My camera angle was just not having it, but I am kind of moving it around so you could see the rest of the layout of the wooden blocks. So once they're all glued together, I flipped it over, and then I'm going to start gluing some basket weaving reed on the back, and I had just enough to complete the whole frame. Also, that on some of the staples that I put down, it actually catches the middle of the two blocks that I glued together, which is perfect because it'll be a little bit more sturdier. And this is all finished. Now go ahead and flip it over to the other side, and I'm just going to start staining it with some regular acrylic paint. And this is from Dollar Tree also. Again, I wish I would have made it a little bit darker, but I was just working with, you know, the colors that I had, and I didn't want to make it too like dark either. So this is what we got, and I think it's pretty close to the original. Okay, so last but not least, I wanted to recreate this hanging wall note. The original was about $16, but I only spent a couple dollars on it. So I had one of these random wood pieces laying around, and then also one of these large dowels and some beads. So what I'm doing is taking a wood screw, and I'm going to put two of the beads right in there, and I'm going to go ahead and screw that right into the end of the dowel. And here I'm just using my DIY stain, and it has like chalkboard paint and then a little bit of water, just spray it on there, and then using a baby wipe, which is wet. It helps kind of spread that paint out a little bit, and or you can use regular stain if you'd like. So that's what I'm doing here to all of the pieces. So that original hanging note, it has two screws on each side, so I'm doing the same, and then I'm actually using these little hooks as well. That's what's gonna keep my dowel on here. And then I did paint those screws with a little bit of black paint just so it matches the original. And I think maybe the original screws are to be able to hang it on the wall like that, but I'm gonna use some saw hook hangers on the back to hang it. And then I just had a craft paper roll from Dollar Tree, I believe, and I just kind of cut it with a saw to get all the way through, and that's what I'm going to use to hang on here.
Alright guys, so we've come to the end of the video once again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I would love to know which one of these DIYs is your favorite. Definitely let me know in the comments down below. Of course, if you did enjoy it, you guys know what to do. Make sure you leave me a thumbs up. Leave me any comments or questions down below, and especially don't forget to subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.